I'm going to be comparing the Bad Boys franchise to the Conan franchise. Reason for that is because in part one of this series, I compared Bad Boys to Speed 1 and 2. I compared Conan to to Bruce Almighty and Evan Almighty. Conan and Bad Boys are the franchises that won, so now I'm going to be pitting them against each other. I've seen one of the Bad Boys movies at this point, the most recent one that came out in 2024. I got to see it in theaters. Actually, I've seen Conan the Barbarian as well as Conan the Destroyer with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I have not seen the 2011 movie called Conan the Destroyer. Seems like that one doesn't really have much to do at all with the Schwarzenegger films. When you look at highest score for each franchise, the third Bad Boys movie has a 76%. The first Conan movie, Conan the Barbarian, has a 67%. When you look at lowest score, the second Bad Boys movie, one of the two ones from Michael Bay, only has a 24%. The 2011 Conan movie has a 25%. So by only 1%, Conan wins this round. Then we look at average score. Bad Boys has an average of 52. Conan has an average of 40. Bad Boys is in the lead right now, 2-1. When you look at gap between lowest and highest score, you got a gap of 52 in the case of Bad Boys, a gap of 42 in the case of Conan, which means that by a little bit, Conan wins this point. So we are tied right now, 2-2. So we're going to look at my personal opinion. Which franchise do I prefer? To be honest, I haven't seen a lot of buddy cop action movies. I don't know if I've actually watched any of the Lethal Weapon movies. I like sword and sorcery movies like Conan. I think it's interesting to have these movies that aren't too fantastical, but there's a little bit of fantastical stuff sprinkled in there, especially in the original Conan the Barbarian. There's a little bit of fantastical stuff in there, like this one scene involving a wizard, but it's more subtle. I think that Conan the Barbarian as well as Conan the Destroyer are entertaining movies. I enjoy both of them. Though admittedly, I think Conan the Barbarian is a bit better. I feel like that one's just a bit more memorable. I really enjoyed Bad Boys 4. I think that Will Smith and the other actor do a great job. They make their characters really fun to watch. It's not a movie that's breaking new ground. It's certainly using a formula that you've seen in other movies. It's doing The Fugitive, except with the Bad Boys. But I think that works. It's playing the formula well. There's good music, entertaining action scenes, story and plot that you actually remember. I think that Arnold Schwarzenegger does a good job in the Conan movies. There's certainly action in there that I enjoy, but I'd say that in this case I'm going to choose Bad Boys just because it seems like right now Bad Boys is in a really good place where you have two movies that have come out fairly recently that have gotten good reviews. I mean, Bad Boys 4 wasn't received quite as well as Bad Boys 3, but still, reviews overall were positive. Whereas the last Conan movie came out in 2011, it has a pretty low Rotten Tomatoes score. Now, I don't know if Conan is sticking to a formula the way that Bad Boys 4 is. I mean, there are other sword and sorcery movies for sure, but I don't know if Conan's necessarily following a formula. So, in that sense, Conan is a bit more interesting, but at the same time, Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer came out quite a good amount of time ago, and I don't know if visually speaking they always hold up that well. Whereas with Michael Bay Bad Boys film, it seems like he does the action well. Maybe the story and plot aren't quite as interesting, but he knows how to do action. That's the big strength that Michael Bay has. But everybody knows by this point, when there's no one there to control Michael Bay, when there's no one to keep him in his box, restrain him, when he's allowed to just do whatever he wants, he indulges in all of his excesses, and thus all his weaknesses are highlighted, like his juvenile sense of humor, especially with the Michael Bay Transformers films as they went on. The objectification of women just got more more annoying, especially when you get to the fourth film. I don't remember who actually directed the Conan movies, but yeah, I'm gonna choose Bad Boys because it seems to me like the movies hold up a bit better than Conan. That'll be it for this video.